think.
Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, I'm going to. No.
Oh, you're changing it?
No, I haven't. I have every intention of running. See, when I was the mayor before, I turned out. Bill had run against me once, and I beat him. I'm not going to run him.
Meeting. Madam Clerk, could you please take row?
Commissioner Beard?
Here.
Commissioner Beckel?
Here.
Commissioner Dalton?
Here.
Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Commissioner O'Connor?
Here.
Vice Chair Broadwater?
Here.
Chair Wynn?
Here. Any oral communication, Madam Clerk?
I don't have any cards.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to the item number 2, consent items.
Madam Chair, it's recommended that you act on the items 2A and 2B simultaneously.
Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Call for the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have no public hearing on calendar, no items for consideration. Any matters from commissioners and director? Hearing none, I'll now call for the adjournment of the Garden Grove Housing Authority.
And the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Wynn.
Dear God, be with us this evening to empower us, refresh us, and enrich us, that we might always seek the best solutions for all concerned. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag and say the pledge with me. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes.
Okay, we had a closed session item earlier, but there's no reportable action. We will have presentations.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, our first presentation is by the Orange County Transportation Authority.
You have the overhead presentation. Okay.
She said it should read over.
Oh, well, I don't know if we have time.
We don't have a laptop.
You don't have a laptop?
No. Because she said it was going to be verbal.
Okay, it's not.
You want to reschedule?
You want
I
to
think
reschedule?
so, yeah.
Okay. So we'll just need to know next time to have it.
Sure, I was under the impression that you've been sent the file. And
Oh, I'm sorry.
there's a PowerPoint. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Without this, I can talk, but I might get lost. So, sorry.
Okay, we'll catch you next time then.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, the next presentation, 3B.
Mr. Mayor, Susan Emery is very proud to present an award-winning short film, and I'll let her introduce the item.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. This evening we are recognizing a team of city staff who were instrumental in producing a video to help educate the public about drought-resistant landscaping. A couple of years ago, the city adopted a new ordinance to comply with water retention goals for landscaping. To help get the word out about the city's new policies, an innovative team of planners, landscapers, and media-savvy staff got together and produced this award-winning public education video. This video is unique because it features a talented and charismatic dog named Mickey in her quest to find a beautiful water-efficient yard. Mickey travels throughout the city in her quest and visits many of the city's key locations, including the dog park, Main Street, the community gardens, and a fire station. Mickey proved to be such a popular performer, she now has a Facebook page with over 300 friends, and her videos have hit over 2,000 views on YouTube. This effort shows that with creativity and collaboration, the city can produce educational programs that are interesting, entertaining, and well done. Recently, staff learned that the video, One Small Dog, One Big Quest, Mickey's Search for a Water Smart Garden, was selected the 2011 Government Program Award, first place for public education by the National Association of Telecommunication Officers and Advisors. In a few moments, we'll see the video, but first I would like to recognize the following staff: Carl Hill, Aaron Webb, Lee Marino, Maria Parra, Elena Chang, Gabby Uvidia, Patricia Hayes, Gus Castellanos, Jeff Davis, Marie Moran, Chris Chung, and most importantly, his dog, Mickey. Sleeping on the ground. I think we're going to show the video now.
What a beautiful day.
Hey, Mickey. Before you forget, here's your backpack. There's plenty of food and water inside. Oh, and here's your cell phone, just in case you need to call. Just remember, don't wander off too far.
It's wet. Why does he insist on overwatering the grass? Every day is the same old thing. My paws are wet, my tail is wet, and it's not even bath day. That's it. This yard needs a makeover. Less grass and more trees and plants that take less water. There must be a garden out there that's fun for a dog to roll, run, and play. A garden that's low maintenance, and best of all, one that saves water so my daddy has money to buy me treats. I'm going to find it. What happened to the plants? This garden is all concrete? Well, there are a few flowers, but it looks like a parking lot. I can see how this would be low maintenance, but with all the concrete, the water is going to run off into the street. What a waste. What's this? A rock garden. Now that's low maintenance too, and better looking than the concrete. I can just imagine if the ground cover filled in, and then the rocks would look like mountaintops above a miniature forest. But I want more trees and shrubs to race around and lie in the shade. This isn't it. Guess I'll keep looking. Hey there, cute fire guys. Wow, what an awesome vegetable garden. I love vegetables. My favorites are bean sprouts and carrots. You know, vegetables are a staple of any healthy diet. I wonder if I can have a little taste. This is really great. I want to grow some veggies in my backyard too. But I'm looking for something different for the front yard. Something that's low maintenance. Whew, I made it all the way to the rec center. Huh, the dog park is just next door.
Yo, Mickey!
Hi, guys.
Oh, Mickey, you look tired. What have you been doing?
I've been on a quest, Lexi.
Another one?
But this is the quest of all quests.
Like the time you went in search of the world's largest dog biscuit?
No, nothing like that, Leo.
Or the time you ran away to join the circus to become the first dog acrobat?
No. This is the quest for a garden. And I'm not talking about just any garden, but my garden. My own Shangri-La. A fun, low-maintenance garden that saves water.
Whoa.
Wow.
But I'm having a hard time finding my garden.
Yo, Mickey, do I have a garden for you?
Really, Max?
Oh, yeah. Imagine green grass for miles. You know, it's green all year long. It's a dog's paradise.
How do I find it?
Well,
This doesn't smell like grass, but it's soft and green. Hey, this isn't real. What land is this? Oh, that Max. This isn't what I was looking for. Ooh, I'm leaving this place to the soccer players. I wonder if I'll ever find my garden. Oh, could it be? Yes, I think this is it. It's what I've been looking for all this time. Wow, this is nice. It's terrific. I have to call the gang and tell them about this.
Hi, Mickey. How's it going?
It's going great. I found a wonderful garden.
You did? What's it like?
It has everything that I was looking for, and lots more.
Great.
But best of all, it's low maintenance and saves on the water bill. You know what that means. More doggy treats for us.
That sounds good.
I'll tell you more about it later. See ya. If you want to know how you can have your own water smart garden, visit the City of Garden Grove's website to learn more. Ooh, I like this. This is so nice.
Mickey! Oh, where have you been? I've been looking everywhere for you. What are you doing here in our neighbor's yard?
Check out this garden, Daddy.
Oh, wow, this garden is really nice. They have different trees and flowers, and even a walkway going through. It doesn't even look like it needs a lot of water. Is this what they call drought-tolerant landscaping? Maybe we can redo our garden to look like this. What do you think, Mickey? Do you like it?
Yes. I can't wait.
Alright, let's go back home.
Whoa. Keep your distance, camera guy. Invading personal space here.
Hair and makeup.
Wait. Come back here. Keep massaging that area. It's a little stiff. I can hang out with these hot firefighters all day long.
Mickey!
Ugh, I'm barking like you asked. Ugh, I'm losing focus here. Can we get a new director? Oh, what is this? These aren't the treats I asked for in my contract.
Mickey, up! Sit!
No, that's it. What is this, like take 301? I'm done for today.
Great job. Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'll open oral communications for the council, the agency, and the sanitary district. Paul Hajek, I'm sorry. Hijack?
I went out like to take a long walk.
Okay.
What brings me to the council tonight is I think you have some illegal handicap housing in your city called Family Connections. They're in rental units. This is where handicaps live with families and go into and from their own programs and go into the community like they want. And you have a pharmacy that's delivering to an unlicensed care facility in Buena Park, Gilbert Pharmacy. And I don't have any addresses for Garden Grove, but I can give you the main corporate office up in Anaheim. And they're getting they charge these kids the same rate as group home, $9.61 a month. And you have a group home I think you should check into. That's what brings me to the council tonight. I do have addresses on that one and the owner. That's what I have to say.
Okay, thank you. We'll have someone is this your valid phone number here?
Yes,
We'll have
that's
somebody
myself.
contact you. We'll have someone get a hold of you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, Nino Cotella.
Good evening. My name is Nino Cotela. I live in 1247 South Laura Street, Anaheim, California, 92802. What brings me here tonight, the issue is the way OCTAP is conducting business, allowing taxi drivers with only one taxi or two taxis, to run a business when they're supposed to have an office and to have a dispatcher so they can take the calls from the customers, which other companies, established companies for 10, 20 years, with dispatchers and employees, they steal the customers from the established companies. The small companies with one or two taxis, they're supposed to have a dispatcher, they don't, and they use their car as a dispatcher. They have to take the calls from their own car. They're not supposed to be texting. They're driving, not supposed to be talking while taking the call from a different customer. And OCTAP is not doing business properly, just for the greed of making money. That is my issue. I would like all of you to take...
Where is this occurring at?
All over Orange County.
Oh, you don't have any specific addresses in Garden Grove?
No.
Okay, well then really there's nothing for us to contact you about if you don't aren't aware of any violations or anybody that's living here or operating a business here that violate anything. But we'll keep it in mind. Thank you, Steve Rodidis.
Good evening, Mayor and the City Council. My name is Steve Rodidis. I live in 971 South Park Rim Circle, Anaheim Hills, California. I've been in Garden Grove doing business at least 20 years. I used to own restaurants and different kind of business, and now I am in the taxi business. So I have a lot of experience in the transportation business. I was a director on transportation overseas in Greece. So what I'm trying to bring some issues here, same like Nino says about OCTA, is that Orange County Transportation Authority's program, which regulate taxi cabs. We had all the cities in Orange County, they put it in the agenda and they voted, and any new vendor, they have to have a dispatch office and maintenance. Now, OCTA, because they want to make money, they give anybody's license, they don't care if somebody has a dispatch or not. Now they say the taxi cab, they can use it as a taxi cab, as a dispatch office. They want you to drive on a freeway, text to other drivers, or pull over with a customer when you have your meter running, and give the order to another driver to go pick up the customer. I don't think this is right. When you go to LAX, you're going to go over and park illegally on the freeway and start texting. That's against the California law. But obviously, OCTAP, they like to overrule the state law, and they bring in jeopardy the city's special OCTAP located in the Garden Grove for a legal matter. In case somebody gets in a big accident, they're going to sue Garden Grove, and they're going to sue OCTAP also. And they're going to lose a lot of revenue. Now, my concern is, when Garden Grove used to issue a business license, we had a quality of service. We service all the public in Garden Grove. Now we have a new resort, and the service is bad. Because, as I said, you know, like all these 4 big companies, they have a computerized system. They can relocate wherever a taxi cab located. They can dispatch, they can pick up the visitors or the residents of the city of Garden Grove. Now, once the OCTAP giving the license, they drive around, they steal somebody, they overcharging the customers, and then they happens to pick up another taxi company, and they say, oh, I got ripped off. I'm not going to come back to California. You know, we have people from Australia, Canada, all over the world. So, and we have a beautiful resort here. We're supposed to increase the business going down. So I'd like, please, to take a matter with that with OCTAP, and to taking care of the matter of the small companies. We're not against the small companies, but they have to provide with a dispatching office.
When he's done. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
How are these renegade taxi cab companies, how are they advertising to get customers?
Okay, the big companies, they advertise at Google, or they have websites, or they put, you know, in the newspaper, or they deliver it with mail flyers to the homes. And the customers, of course, now with the new technology and everything, they go to the websites and they get the business. So now when somebody comes with one taxi, he has no business. So what he's going to do, he's going to go outside and cruising all these hotels, because the hotel called Yellow Cab or another company, and these guys, they go there, they grab the customers, they take them wherever they want to go, they want to make money because they had no business, and they overcharge the customers. I think people, they taking from Marriott Suites in Garden Grove, they're going to main place and they charge them $40. They take them all over the city. And nobody's controlling that. They do that to the residents too.
Okay, thank you.
But we already voted, you know, all the cities for OCTAP to have a dispatching office, to have 4 walls. Now they say, oh, the taxi cab is 4 walls. They can have a dispatch, and you can text from there. And California law says you cannot text, you cannot talk on the phone, you cannot pull over on the freeway, because that's for emergency, not for dispatching.
Okay, is this your current phone number here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll have somebody call you.
Also, you know, like Anaheim, they're having a franchise system, which they have very good quality of service.
Okay. All right.
They generate a lot of revenue for the city. So we like, if we can do it a franchise in the Garden Grove, you get thousands of dollars, and the companies, they're willing to pay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Lilia Ramos. Lilia Ramos.
Good evening. My name is Lilia Ramos. I live off of New Hope in Westminster in Santa Ana, and my home is in the Garden Grove School District. I'm here to speak on the Santa Ana Mayor's proposal to bring a Major League Soccer team to Santa Ana. On September 19, the Santa Ana City Council approved an MOU to enter into exclusive negotiations for a term of 6 months with Chivas USA regarding Chivas' potential relocation to Santa Ana. The MOU also mentions the development of a new stadium complex at the Willowick Golf Course, which is located within the boundaries of the city of Santa Ana, but is owned by the city of Garden Grove. The site is in the middle of a neighborhood and is not directly accessible by freeway. This means that those traveling to the new stadium would have to use the 22 freeway, and the nearest exits are at Fairview, Harbor, and New Hope. As it is, Fairview at the 22 freeway is a nightmare. The area is extremely congested around Garden Grove Boulevard, with traffic backing up on Fairview all the way to 17th Street. Harbor is one of the busiest streets in Orange County, with approximately 47,000 cars daily, and during peak hours, traffic is practically at a standstill. In the past few years, traffic on New Hope Street has increased significantly, with frequent accidents at the corner of New Hope and Westminster. Traffic at 5th Street and Fairview is also heavily impacted at the Spurgeon Intermediate School during school hours and activities, and 5th Street lacks the infrastructure to handle a higher volume of vehicles. The traffic situation is already difficult in these streets. They cannot handle the thousands of more vehicles that the stadium would bring to the area. Since Garden Grove owns the golf course, I respectfully ask this council to reject the proposal to build a stadium at the Willowwick Golf Course site. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisanne Martinez.
Hello, my name is Lisanne Martinez, and I am very concerned about a stadium being built in the city of Santa Ana at the Willowwood Golf Course. It is a poor choice of places to build a stadium. I am one of the residents of the Santa Anita neighborhood. This stadium would even further lower the quality of life in our neighborhood. It would cause noise, traffic congestion, and health issues. That is, if a neighborhood exists after the stadium. We would be relocated to low-income housing projects in order for the city to comply with the regulations of redevelopment. The city of Santa Ana are masters at finding loopholes in order to justify their actions. The city of Santa Ana is at the verge of bankruptcy. They are looking for needles in haystacks right now, and Willowwood Golf Course is that golden needle they are looking for. They are in dire need of money right now and would negotiate a deal of any kind right now. The Bears Stadium cost taxpayers $400 million for a $600 million stadium. The Cowboys cost taxpayers $325 million for a $1.2 billion stadium. It is possible that the city of Santa Ana and Garden Grove can put that burden on the taxpayers. Now is not the best of economic times to build a stadium. Taking this little jewel of green space that plays host to many reptiles and birds that are on the endangered species list, not to mention some of the oldest trees in Santa Ana that have survived floods. Who knows what ecological damages our aquifers would sustain from the runoff of bacterial pollutants from the stadium. It also hosts the City of Garden Grove's Chamber of Commerce biggest annual fundraising event, which is the golfing tournament. And I read a little article that I took little snippets out of, and it says, why do mayors love sports stadiums? Public subsidies for stadiums are a great deal for team owners, league executives, developers, bond attorneys, construction firms, politicians, and everyone in the stadium food chain, but are a really terrible deal for everyone else. Economic Research Associates told the city of Arlington, Texas, that spending $325 million on a new stadium for a billionaire oil baron Jerry Jones' Dallas Cowboys would generate $238 million a year in economic activity. Critics immediately pointed out that this merely totaled up all spending that would take place in and around the stadium. Hidden deep in the report was a more meaningful estimate that Arlington would see just $1.8 million a year in new tax revenues while spending $20 million a year on stadium subsidies. Even where elected officials have gotten smarter about rejecting subsidies, the sports industry increasingly outmaneuvering them. 20 years ago, most sports subsidies came in the form of straight cash giveaways for construction costs. Today, they are more likely to arrive via tax breaks, free land, government-subsidized tax-free loans, or discounts to offset operating and maintenance costs. When Long looked at these hidden subsidies, she found that they added an average of 40% to sports facilities' public sticker price. The most notable example are the new stadiums for the Yankees and Mets, which opened in New York City in 2009. The team owners promised to pay all $1.7 billion in construction costs, but it was later revealed that they were collecting a combined $1.8 billion in lease and tax breaks against the outlays. I hope the city of Garden Grove is not keeping its citizens in the dark like the city of Santa Ana. Thank you.
Thank you. Tim Bush.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, staff. It's actually Tim Rush, but I'll attribute that to my less than perfect handwriting. I live in Santa Ana as well for 24 years, although I have to tell you I did live in Garden Grove many, many years ago. I won't tell you how many decades ago, but on Ranchero Way we lived for a number of years when I was a little kid. Suffice it to say, I watched the orange groves being torn out to build Garden Grove Freeway in what is now Santiago High School. I'm here also, along with the rest of our group. Why don't you stand? Those of us with Santa Ana SOS and Willowick, as it's called. And we're here because we're upset about this planned relocation of Chivas USA to Willowick Golf Course. We're not against Chivas coming to Orange County. We just think that they need to do a better job with siting themselves in a location that makes sense. I can't imagine any one of you would want to live near the Orange County version of the Forum or the LA Coliseum. And that is exactly what is being proposed by tearing out the 102 acres of Willowick to turn it into a soccer stadium. It's wrong. It's going to have a terrible impact on those neighborhoods. Granted, those people are not residents of Garden Grove, but they all pay taxes. Most of them pay taxes which affect your Garden Grove School District. And it just seems to me that from a sense of fairness, that Garden Grove should work with Santa Ana to do something that is long-term in the best interests of both Garden Grove and Santa Ana. Perhaps they can come up with a revenue share for a different site that would not have the impact that this location would. I suppose many of you know that Willowick is the second oldest golf course in Orange County, designed by a famed golf course architecture firm of William P. Bell, who designed Hacienda Golf Course and Riviera and Torrey Pines and over 50 golf courses throughout California, Arizona, Nevada, and Hawaii. So, we're wondering why in the world Garden Grove would want to allow the city of Santa Ana to negotiate for you. We have attempted to meet with Mr. Mayor, yourself, and staff, and have been told nothing to talk about. Well, for a 102-acre project, I think there is something to talk about. By the way, it's interesting, this MOU that Miguel finally brought to the council has yet to be signed by either Santa Ana or Chivas. Chivas publicly has said they know nothing about the MOU. So we wonder what is going on. But for 4 years, Miguel's been negotiating, I would say illegally, without any approval from the council. Again, you folks own the golf course, and I would think you'd want to have an impact, want to have a say in what happens there. But we wonder why in the world would Garden Grove not want to make the golf course successful? It's got to be one of the few golf course areas that is surrounded by, in many cases, housing that is not the best. But why not work to improve that so that you improve the revenues of the golf course? Most golf course communities are very upscale, and this is an opportunity for you to do that. This proposed stadium would have a horrific impact upon neighborhoods, quality of life, etc. Not just for Santa Ana, but for Garden Grove. The traffic alone, the considerations are phenomenal in terms of what it would do. So, Ben Franklin long ago came up with a process for helping him make difficult decisions. And he would take a sheet of paper and he'd put all the pros on one side and all the cons on the other. And when we've done this, my goodness, the cons so far outweigh the pros, it isn't even funny. So we would hope that you folks would be open to sitting down and talking to folks from Santa Ana and your own city to see about how this could be resolved to the benefit of both Garden Grove and Santa Ana. Thank you.
Thank you. Pat McGuigan.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I happen to know some of you up there, and you know well too that I have been a council member in the city of Santa Ana for 20-some years, and I happen to live right next to Garden Grove. The wall on the side of my house is Garden Grove. So I live very close to the area, and I am in Garden Grove School District. So I feel like this is part of my life too. I am one of the people who was very concerned about the Willowick Stadium, and that is being proposed, and it's one of those things that I feel as a council member should be open for public input. I mean, it's one of those things that we need to get together and talk about, and one person should not be making this decision. This is a major project that's going to have a direct effect on neighborhoods, traffic, small businesses, taxpayers' costs, and it's one of those things that an advisory committee would be beneficial to oversee it, that would be comprised of environmentalists, safety personnel, and it's going to have a horrendous impact on the whole area. It's going to affect 2 cities because the traffic, there is no direct access to a freeway, as all of you know, and I'm not sure. I've traveled Harbor Boulevard. I've lived in the area for almost 50 years now. And so I feel like I'm at home here. This is my home. I've raised my kids and my grandkids here, and I've used the streets, and I travel through Garden Grove consistently, and it's special to me. This is going to be one of those things that you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do with it on the off season. When you think about it, soccer season only lasts so long, but what are you going to have in between? Are you going to have concerts that are going to disrupt the neighborhoods? Are you going to be having tractor pulls? Heaven only knows what will be offered as an alternative to, because you know it's going to cost a lot of money. And once it's there, you're going to have a facility that's going to be, that you're going to need to pay for somehow. And somebody's going to have to pay for it. It's going to really impact, I mean, we've got a whole page of quality of life issues that are involved in this whole process. So I do hope that you will, if indeed this is going to go forward in any way at all, that there will be some consideration given to a combined community committee that can oversee or look at various aspects of this, and environmentally and through traffic, and have people who have experience in this type of enterprise, if you will, who will be able to provide some kind of a input to what both cities want to do. I know that your mayor, Mayor Dalton, and our mayor work very closely together, and I know some of you have different kinds of relationships with different council members here within Orange County. So maybe we can put some positive spin, if you will, on this whole process and do something that's going to be out in the open. Transparency is a big term that they use nowadays, and I'm not sure that there's a word or there's any way that you can define that, except that it's important to let people know what is going on in your community. And that's one of the things that troubles me, that this came up out of the clear blue sky, came up on the same night as another MOU that really threw me for a loop because I didn't know anything about it. And like I say, I've been around for a lot of years. And I try to keep up with what's happening. And this was in the newspaper, in the Orange County Register. You possibly read about the MOU. Or you probably did, because it does impact Garden Grove. It's your property. And so anyhow, I just wanted to bring this. If you wanted to know more, I have friends who live in Carson, and they built a soccer complex or a sports complex up in Carson. You might want to check out the Carson website because it has some very interesting thing. I remember their mayor, Gil Smith, whom I worked with for many years. He was chair of the contract cities mayors for a period of time. But anyhow, they have a sports complex up there, and he thought it was a great idea, and then they built it right behind his house, and he realized it was not a good thing after all. And we do have people within our group who, unfortunately, they're not here tonight, but they live right across the street. They're not going to be able to get out of their tract, out of their homes. They're going to be stuck there of an afternoon or a Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, whenever they play these games or whenever these various events take place. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. So anyhow, I see my time is up. You use the same system we do, but thank you very much.
Okay, Steve McGuigan.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you this evening. I, too, am here mostly about Willowrick. I do have an adjoining wall also with Garden Grove. My son just graduated from the Garden Grove Unified School District, and I do shop, play, and spend money in Garden Grove. So I want to be able to continue to do that and be able to get through Garden Grove and to the places I need to go on a regular basis. One of the big concerns with Willowrick that you need to be concerned about is the public safety issue. Not only is there going to be a traffic issue, but there are all sorts of other issues surrounding the things that might involve a stadium or a big operation like that. And a lot of these people, like they said, are going to be coming from the Garden Grove Freeway. They're coming right through your city to get to the stadium. No matter what, they're coming through Garden Grove. That's an awful lot of impact on you guys, on the major thoroughfares that are there and also on the freeways and so forth that are there. That's an impact you're going to have to absorb as a byproduct of putting a stadium at this location. As the landholders there, you guys, the city of Garden Grove does own that land. The current lease to Link Donovan is still good till, I think, 2019. It's a significant length of time, and I realize that there is currently income being generated by that property in its current configuration as a golf course. I also realize that Garden Grove, looking on down the line, would like to look at some sort of development for all of the parcels that they own and see something that generates, large amounts of tax increment for the city and large amounts of value for the city. In previous locations, like where the old fire station motel was, the city was very diligent in picking a project that was a good fit for that, and also was really good about telling the public what they were doing with that property. There was a lot of outreach, there was a lot of communication, there was a lot of press with the projects that they were putting in there. And it was very important to the city, it seemed at that point, to be able to tell people what was going to be happening in that area. Here you have another parcel that you own, and it seems to be very nebulous as to what's going to happen with that property. Personally, I'd like to see it stay a golf course. I have several friends that golf. I know that there are several schools that use that property for their golf teams, including high schools like Mater Dei, my alma mater. Their golf team does all of their practicing there. It's very important that they have resources like this, and to lose 102 acres of open space on a city that's already heavily impacted, as Santa Ana is, and has a lack of open space, would be a very, very dramatic thing. I asked our former city manager, Dave Ream, a couple years ago how they would replace that space if they lost 102 acres of open space, and he said they simply wouldn't. That throws off ratios for a lot of different things, for a lot of other development, construction, and uses that the city could do. So it does impact the city of Santa Ana and the city of Garden Grove. I do hope that you seriously consider any major development that goes in there and understand that it is in the middle of a residential community on all four sides. It's very important that, well, I guess the fourth side is the Santa Ana River, so it is a common space with the county and with other things. But directly across the river are two major Santa Ana schools, so it's very important that that you take the community into consideration as you do this development. Right now there are 11 neighborhood associations immediately surrounding there and in the neighborhood perimeter there that are actively engaged in keeping an eye on what development is going in there. Whoever decides to develop there will have to have dialogue and discussion with those 11 neighborhoods and probably more neighborhoods. As more and more people find out about what's happening there, more and more people are expressing their concerns and expressing their dismay at the way Santa Ana is handling it. And I strongly suspect that at some point there will be some challenges, will be some issues, and will be some things that come up with the EIR that are going to involve possibly Garden Grove having to kick in some legal fees or so forth. you guys don't want to incur that. We don't want you to have to incur that. So I encourage you to think very responsibly about any development that you might consider to go in there, replacing that golf course in the future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Peggy Bergen.
Well, my little piddly bits aren't going to sound very good after all that. They were excellent speakers, and I want them to know that we all appreciate bringing that farther out into knowledge, because I have heard little bits and pieces about Willowick, but nothing quite as monumental as that. Well, also, one of our ladies, Lilia, she brought up one of the topics on my little list of things to bring up, was a Garden Grove Boulevard and Fairview, the traffic issue. Now, about 2 or 3 years ago, we got a grant from the state for $732,000, I believe it was, to widen a section about 1.5 blocks from that to help the flow of traffic, which was kind of foolish for the state even to give it to us, because we widened it for 1 block, and then it goes back to 2 lanes in Santa Ana, so what good did it really do? But the other night, I was going out about 5:45, heading, I believe it would be east on Garden Grove Boulevard towards Fairview, to make a right-hand turn to go towards Trask. Now, I do believe an impacted traffic signal is when you have to wait more than, I think it is, 2 times to get through a red light. Well, normally speaking, there's no problem with that, because there's no one making a left-hand turn coming from, let's say, Lewis Street west on Garden Grove Boulevard, therefore making a left-hand turn. Well, we always talk about revenue. There's a wonderful situation for revenue, both morning and night, because the people, as they come down Garden Grove Boulevard to make this turn on to Fairview, this signal and this signal are not coordinated. Therefore, this signal is red while these people are coming around the corner. So do these people hold off? No, they just block that entire intersection. Then by this intersection is blocked, cars all the way, then this signal goes green. Nobody can move anywhere. So by the time 3 or 4 of these happen, the traffic is almost all the way down to Palm in the evening. I have never seen a policeman there. And I will tell you, if there was a policeman in a police car sitting in that service station, everyone would come up and wait the way they're supposed to until an intersection is free. That is a nightmare, both morning and night. But none of you live on that end of town, so therefore you never see this in action. The times you see it might be a late Sunday afternoon or middle of the day, if you're even ever over there. But it is a nightmare. Now, we're talking about something that, like Lilia was saying, you get off the freeway there to go to this Willowick. Well, there's going to be more cars coming. I mean, we've got to look out for the future. You know, traffic is a major issue everywhere. That is an accident waiting to happen at that corner, because all you need is one person sees the red light, doesn't pay attention, and boom, you get somebody driving into somebody else. But I do think you should send the traffic people out there and have them sit, not one night, go and sit for 4 or 5 nights and look at that mess every night of the week. And I mean, some nights it's longer, some nights it's a couple hours. So, you know, it's a real issue. Now, one of the things I noticed today when I was going on the Garden Grove Freeway heading west, and where the car dealerships have their signs along the freeway there was this really cute little sign, and it was on one of the car dealers. Since I was driving, I couldn't really stop and read it too well, but it said, one of the main things in lights that are changing and blinking to catch your eye, bad credit okay. Now, isn't that the nightmare that got this whole world in such a financial fix 2.5 years ago, was let's let everybody buy a house. Let somebody that's delivering pizza buy a $400,000 house. You know, bad credit is not okay. If you cannot afford to make a payment, someone has to have the nerve to say to you, we cannot sell you a house, we cannot sell you a car. You have to make the payments after you buy the thing, whatever it is. But I was just sitting here, now this was like 8:30 in the morning, it was a real wake-up call, bad credit, okay, whoa. I was never so lucky. They always told me, go home and find some more income. But I did go, on the positive side, I did go to the City Works open house on Saturday, and that is always a real pleasure. It really is. You see the different councilmen, you see the different staff members there, and you also get to talk to the men that do the work. And it's wonderful to see enthusiastic workers that like what they're doing and know what they're doing. It's a wonderful, pleasant morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom Lutz.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and fellow council members. My name is Tom Lutz.
Would you reset I want to make sure you get all your time. I don't
Okay.
want to cheat you out of it.
I'm not going to take that. I reside at 1118 Freeman Street in Santa Ana. I am the former council member and mayor pro tem for the city of Santa Ana from 1992 to November 2000. So I've sat in your chairs and realized the hard work that you all do. I am currently one of the co-chairs of the Santa Ana SOS Willowick that we are trying to make sure that we do not have the problems as the speakers before me end up having in our city and in your parts of the city that surround the golf course. And I'd like to thank them for an outstanding job that they did here tonight. So what I'm doing right now is delivering the mailman, I should be, I'm delivering the paperwork, and I have the 10 reasons to oppose the secret deal are this project, and I'd like to give that to your clerk to give to you. I also have a article that was written by Stephanie Miesenheimer from UCI News paper, and talks about the Carson Complex Home Depot Center that Pat McGuigan spoke about. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your time, and also on behalf of our committee, I'd like to wish Councilmember Byrd a happy birthday.
Thank you. Charles Mitchell.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and staff. There is a special meeting. It's unfortunate that OCTA didn't have a chance to make their presentation this evening. But there is a special meeting tomorrow morning at 7:30 here in Garden Grove, and Orange County Transportation Authority is hosting this. It's going to be talking about transportation, particularly public transportation within the county, and it's going to be an interesting forum. Unfortunately, the forum is being held at the meeting center on Main Street, not at our community meeting center here as was posted in the register today. So I wanted to make sure that those who plan to attend this meeting tomorrow morning don't go to the wrong place. Now, on the agenda mentions that acceptance of the project as complete for the solar photovoltaic installation project at the municipal yard. I think it's great that we're doing what we can to generate our own power, particularly with all of the things that need to be done in that maintenance yard. But it seems to me that about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, they were talking about putting another project in there, and redevelopment project in that area, and they were talking about moving the municipal yard to another location, perhaps in the commercial area of West Garden Grove. And my question is, whether or not that proposal may still be in effect, and if so, are these solar panels going to be able to be relocated if the municipal yard does move for a new development? Thank you.
Thank you. Timothy Gibson.
I drive yellow cab, and right now we're having trouble with the cabs. We're trying to get cities to work with us because the people that control the taxi flow, Orange County Transportation Authority, is not helping us out by any means. There's 40 yellow cabs in Orange County. Only 4 of those companies have computers, and they accept credit cards. And they set it in places like the hotels in Garden Grove, and they just drive through, and they don't have the computers or the credit card set up, and they grab customers from out of the country and out of the state that's visiting out here in Disneyland, Anaheim, Garden Grove, staying at the hotels, and they're getting ripped off. Sometimes when you hand a credit card to the driver, they should accept the credit cards. Octab put on the windows of every cab operating in Orange County to accept credit cards, but they still don't do that. We get a lot of feedback on people saying, when we get called to pick up the people, they already got dropped off by a cab and they charge them too much money. And then when we run our meter on our computer, it tells where you picked up the customer at and how far you took them, how much it would be, And they say, your fare is cheaper. These other cabs have different rates. I said, no, they're all the same rates, $2.60 a mile and $2.95 to start the meter. I think if cabs are going to operate in Orange County, they all should have computers. It's a tracking device along with the credit cards. So we'll have less problems. Right now, the market is flooded with cabs. And if these people want to be cab drivers, they can put their cabs into the companies that's existing, and the company will install computers for them. We have these meetings at Octab meetings every 90 days in the city of Orange, and we don't seem to get anywhere. We've been talking to people like traffic departments in Santa, police department in Orange and Huntington Beach, and they agree with the computer system. Now, if something happens, a lot of times people will flag a cab, and these cabs don't have computers. If they should lose a precious item in the car, they're not going to find it because there's too many cabs out there at one time. And I think if we can get cities to work with us, like we're trying to get Orange and Huntington Beach and Santa to work with us, they agree with us, but Octab doesn't want to budge on the issue. Anaheim Yellow Cab's been around for 65 years, and the person there told them that if these people want to drive cabs, they can put their cabs in with the bigger companies. We only need 5 yellow cab companies in Orange County. We don't need 40 companies. There's incidents happening all over the world. It's just not happening in Orange County, but it's a matter of time. It's happening in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, where there's a flow of cabs, too many, and people getting attacked, and and some other things are getting done to them, and they can't track down who took them. I'm sure you read articles about what happened in Beverly Hills about a year ago, where a girl flagged the cab and she wanted to go home and she got attacked. And they couldn't, today, that was a year ago, they never located the driver. That's been in the paper and it's on a website. So we've been pulling up all these articles around, California and showing Octab why cabs need computers. They've been around for 20-something years. Anaheim, everything is regulated. Only 2 cab companies is allowed to service John Wayne Airport. They are shared with Anaheim Yellow and California Yellow, and they have computers. This Anaheim Disneyland only has 3 cab companies. They don't want a flow of cabs floating through the area, so they regulate. They say, we want 3 companies to service Anaheim, Disneyland, and that is it. So why can't we all get together as cities, because it's a safety issue, not having computers in the cabs. Sitting at the hotels in Garden Grove, which is a lot of them, the hotel might call a certain cab company that has a computer. By the time that driver arrives, another cab have driven through there and picked up the ride. And so I just want to bring it to your attention. I think it's a very big issue that they should be computerized. So the meetings at Octab is held every 90 days. There was somebody at Garden Grove here, I don't know the lady's name, she says they had a drunk driving sting about 8 months ago in Garden Grove. And as the cabs went through, they stopped them and they asked them, where's your permits? Well, we don't need permits, we're only weekend drivers. Octab, whether you're a daily driver or a weekend driver, you must have a permit. and it says your name and all the information on that OCTAP permit so they can identify who you are. So it's a major burden, on the cities that allow cabs to service the area, the community, without a computer. The computer tells everybody how much the fare would be if you take them from one area to another. It tracks everything. If you don't have the computer, you have no way of finding out anything about it. So we just asked to see if the city can work with cabs that have computers. Anaheim Yellow Cab is the biggest company around. California Yellow Cab, Full My Taxi, and 24/7 are the only ones that's computerized for safety issues. Why can't we get the other cabs to do the same thing? OCTAP doesn't want that. They generate approximately $3,400.
Wrap it up. We're over the time. You're just go ahead and wrap it up really quick. You're already over
The
time.
OCTAP generates $3,400 for each company they open up, a new company. So if the company that can't make it in the long run, they close down and then they allow a new one to open up for another $3,400. And every cab that's on that fleet has to pay $401 annually per cab to keep going for the next 10 years.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Sherry Russell.
My name's Sherry Russell. I'm a taxi driver here in Orange County. As to what Tim was saying about the computers and stuff, is that on the other hand, as a driver and being a female in this area, having computers in our cabs and stuff will help the dispatch to track us in case something happens. It has come to whenever I get a fare or something like that, that I feel that there's something questionable, I call the dispatch and I said, watch me, watch my cab, because the computer can track me wherever I'm at and to keep me safe. But, and the other thing is that they're having too many cabs around here. So many times I go up to some place and I try to pick up, and it's gone because there's bandit cabs that are unmarked. There's people that are not supposed to be out there, and they're not licensed. They don't have the permits or anything like that. So I see a few of them around. I'm mostly paying attention to the road, but I have seen quite a few that are around that do pick up our fares and consequently take money out of my pocket and stuff. So I think it would behoove everybody if we have computers in all of the cabs and have a regulation on how many cab companies we can have out there. So if we have only a certain amount of cab companies, whoever is out there can also join in to the whatever company that the council decides or whatever city decides. You don't have to have, Surf City cab here.
Let me ask you a question. Who regulates all of these cabs?
OCTAP.
I'm sorry?
OCTAP, Orange County Taxi Authority Program.
Transportation Authority. Tomorrow, as Charles Mitchell just mentioned, tomorrow there'll be a presentation by Orange County Transportation Authority at the Courtyard Center here in Garden Grove in Stanford, just near Euclid and Stanford, that area. There's going to be quite a few people there from OCTA. Perhaps some of you can go to that meeting tomorrow, and they're there to answer any questions, and they certainly should deal with this situation, but there'll be quite a few people there from that. And that's from 7:30 to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, I needed to bring it to the attention, too, because I'm a resident of Garden Grove.
Well, that's fine, but we don't really regulate the cabs as far as, what you're talking about. So if you're telling me it's all regulated by the OCTA, I think tomorrow you might try and,
Yeah, I'd like to...
Well, the issue...
it's not only OCTAP, I mean, all the cities in Orange County, they're still involved with...
Okay, well, I think a start probably is go to the OCTA meeting tomorrow and bring it up. Yes.
Also, the issue is that even though OCTAP does regulate the cabs and who gets permits and who stays on the road and who doesn't, if there's a bandit cab out there, they tell us to call the police, and then when we get to the police tell us to call OCTAP. So there's just we're getting the runaround.
Yeah. Well, I can understand where the police would look at it from a different perspective, too. So, okay, but you might go tomorrow. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to close our communications, and Mr. Vertel is going to address the Willowick issue.
Mr. Mayor and members of the council, you are aware that we have had a brief contact from the city of Santa Ana regarding their desire to have discussions with Chivas about locating to Santa Ana and specifically the Willowick Golf Course. But it is very preliminary. In fact, it was mentioned that the MOU may not even have been signed by Chivas. I can't verify that at this point. But what's also important to know is that the City of Garden Grove is not a party to that MOU. So these discussions are, at this point, between Santa Ana and Chivas, and Garden Grove is again not a party to those at this time. I think your concerns are our concerns, and we are anxiously awaiting additional information from the City of Santa Ana as to what exactly is that they are proposing. So we are somewhat in the same position in that although we are aware of the discussions, we don't have any details as to what that might entail. I think we are concerned about the environmental impacts that such a development would create, the traffic, the noise, and impacts on not only the neighborhoods in Santa Ana but Garden Grove. So at this stage, again, it's just to point out that it's very, very early. We don't have any more information than you do. And we are awaiting that information from the City of Santa Ana so we can assess it the same way you'd like to assess it. And that's the status.
Thank you, Mr. Broadwater.
Well, I'd heard that Chivas actually signed some kind of an agreement with the city of Pomona. I mean, I think Miguel has gone in the wrong direction, and I think he's talking to himself at this point.
Well, I think everybody will agree that's one of the problems is there's so many different stories floating around, and hopefully we can wait and see how some of this shakes out.
But I think, I mean, if anything, you want to do something right, you go back to the city of Santa Ana and tell them that they should allow the city of Garden Grove to annex their own golf course. So, I mean, we've had, if you know the history there, the Pacific Electric line ran down there, and we had annexed right down to the Pacific Electric line. In fact, we bought into a thing called Wayne Clinton that cost millions of dollars to resolve, and we were just ready to annex that portion of the railroad track there, and of course our golf course is right on the other side. I mean, you're talking about 20 feet, and the Orange County Transit Authority bought it from the Southern Pacific Railroad, and we could not annex another government's property. So Santa Ana eventually annexed it, and we've been paying taxes to the city of Santa Ana for that golf course ever since. However, we'd like to get that tax money back. So you go back there and tell them, hey, let Garden Grove have their own golf course. It's only 20 feet.
Golf course seems wider than 20 feet.
No, the railroad tracks is 20 feet. The golf course is on the other side.
Okay, any other comments before? Okay, we're going to,
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
Just to amplify the city manager's comment, we've had no discussions with them whatsoever. So some of the speakers came up and there was the impression that maybe the mayor didn't want to talk to anybody or staff didn't want to talk to anybody. We're in that situation. If there's a secret deal, it's a secret to us. And our concerns are your concerns. So I just want to eliminate that implication that the mayor or any city staff would not meet with the public. We talked about transparency and openness, and we are in the same position that the general public is in the surrounding area. We don't know what's going on, and we don't even know if the MOU is going on. So it may be a political process going on in your own city, but we're not involved, and it is our property, but we're going to look into it with due diligence, so we can assure you of that.
Well, let me just add one thing to it. Understand that nothing can be done without both parties involved. And whether we know or we don't know at this point, nothing can be done.
Doesn't make any difference.
And they can't do anything, and we can't do anything. So, and believe me, transparency will be the word, especially when it comes to if there is any serious talks about developing it for any other purposes. Thank you for your understanding. I appreciate it. Okay, for written communications, Boy Scout Troop 1103 is requesting co-sponsorship for the 11th annual Cub Scout Push Cart Derby on Sunday, April 25th. There's 4.
Mayor,
John?
to the date.
I'm sorry.
Sunday, April 29th.
Oh, no, I thought I said that. Well, you can have 2 of them. If I made a mistake, you get to have 2 of them. Okay, John, we can stop the traffic. John, Ethan, Mikey, and Floyd, or Eloy, okay, Eloy. Come on up. Give us your pitch.
All right.
We already know what the answer is going to be, but go ahead.
Okay, that takes a little of the suspense out of it, but I'd like to say good evening. My name's John Kleinman. I am Scoutmaster for Troop 1103. We're a Boy Scout troop centered here in Garden Grove, and here to talk about the Pushcart Derby event, something that we have hosted. I think the troop's hosted for about 8 years, and it's this will be our 11th year actually running the event. Members of a Cub Scout pack in Garden Grove started the event, and then we picked it up. It's a fantastic event that where Cub Scouts from all over Orange County are invited to get a kit that they build with their parents' help. They put it together on race day. We take them to hill over on Springdale and have them push their friends down the hill. Big race. It's very exciting, and it's been such a successful event and a wonderful experience for everybody involved. Our troop is going to be running the event. The boys who are involved have fantastic experiences and build memories that are going to last a lifetime. Of course, we do need your support to make this happen. We have to close portions of Springdale for the day, and as you have in the past, we ask that you once again co-sponsor the event and give us permission to use your city streets. So with that, I think a couple of our guys would
please
like to have a couple words.
Sure.
Thank you.
Don't be bashful. Come on.
Hi, I'm Justin Thompson of Troop 1103. I'm one of the currently 3 Eagle Scouts in the troop. I've been a member and proud to participate in the Pushcart Derby for 9 out of the previous 10 years that we have hosted the event. Every single year I hear nothing but great things from the Scouts of how they loved it, they had so much fun, how it's something that they'll live with. And as a Scout that's done the event himself, I can tell you from firsthand experience, it sticks with you. You don't really forget it, and it's just a great memory that you never forget. Even last year when we had a little bit of bad weather and we had to kind of cut the event a little early, I still heard from all the Scouts that they had a wonderful time, that the water actually made it more fun. Hope we don't get it again this year, but it was a lot of fun. All the Scouts said that they had a wonderful time, and I'd really love to see those smiling faces and all this for the 11th year, and I can't wait to see you guys out there. Thank you, Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Ethan Ross from Troop 1103. I've enjoyed Pushcart Derby, and this is what has brought me to this troop, because I really loved Pushcart Derby when I first did it in Cub Scouts. I think it's a great event because it brings Cub Scouts and the community to come do an event that's only once a year, and it's just something you don't see all the time, where you see a kid push down another kid in a cart. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Hello, my name is Mikey Niang from Troop 1103 of Garden Grove, California. We are going to have our annual pushcart derby, and I have not have experience in this, so this is going to be my first time. I don't know what to say next.
Go ahead. You're doing great. It's okay.
we were just wondering if we could get permission to take that hill, the hill that we race our the cars on. We were wondering if we could get permission to close it down for that day so we could use it for our event.
Okay, that sounds good. One more. You did a good job. Go ahead. Okay.
Hello. My name is Eloy from Troop 1103. Well, I really haven't had experience with the pushcart derby, but I've seen how the kids just like race down that street, and it's really fun to see those smiling faces on the Cub Scouts just going down that street. And this year, last year that I participated in it, I heard a lot of Cub Scouts saying it was really fun. And well, the troop was wondering if you could just close that street down for that day and have those smiling faces run down that street again.
Boy, you guys did a great job. We didn't know we were going to do it, but you sold us on it. So I moved that we co-sponsor the pushcart derby.
Thank you.
You made the motion?
I did.
Second that motion.
I have motion and second. Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
I think at this time we'll recess the council. I think we have some cake, so you're all welcome to share a cake with us. And we're celebrating somebody's 20.
Member Jones?
Here.
Vice Chair Wynn?
Here.
Chair Broadwater?
Here. We had a closed session, and we have absolutely nothing to report out of that session. At this time, we'll go to consent items. 4A, minutes of the regular meeting. Anybody like that?
So move. Second.
Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Public hearings, we've decided not to have any this evening. Items for consideration, none. Matters from agency members and director. Two of agency members went to the Texas over this last weekend, and we looked at the Great Wolf Hotel. Mr. Chris Baird and I myself went. And I'll tell you, we were really impressed. I mean, we were going to stay a little over in our room, about 4 hours over, and they had to tell us that we couldn't stay 4 hours over because they'd already sold our rooms to somebody else. I mean, the place was packed, and little kids running everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And they were having a ball. They were having the time of their lives. They have everything there for children. And the one thing that really, I thought of my own granddaughter when I saw it, but they had this little salon for little girls downstairs where they can get a, what do you get when your toes done? Pedicure and a manicure. And they were standing in line for this, little teeny girls, you know. It was good. The kids were running around wearing these ears called wolf ears. And I can tell you something, when the Disney crowd sees those wolf ears running around Disneyland, when they get here, they'll have something to say. But it was a great opportunity. Chris, you want to add anything?
Yeah, specifically, there's 600 rooms. They were at 100% occupancy the day we left, which was a Saturday. And like Councilmember Broadwater mentioned, it was well run, good operation. And we saw the maintenance, we saw the inside, we saw the outside, we saw every aspect of it, and they really know what they're doing, and it is a one-stop destination. So something like that in any city would be welcome, and especially in this city in particular.
Grapevine, Texas. Grapevine. You can put that in your newsletter. Anyway, the next regular meeting of the agency will be held on Tuesday, November 8th, 2011 at 5:30 p.m.
Okay, we'll call the Garden Grove Sanitary District meeting to order. Let the record show that all members are present, and we'll go to consent items.
Mr. President, it's recommended that these items be acted on simultaneously unless a separate discussion is requested.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have motion second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, there's no public hearings, no items, any matters from any board members? Okay, hearing none.
Isn't there a public hearing?
No. On
No.
Sand District?
No.
Oh, Sand District, I'm looking at the...
Sand.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, we'll adjourn the meeting until the next regular meeting of the Sanitary District on Tuesday, November 22nd at 6:30 p.m. here. And we'll reconvene the council. The record show that all members are present, and go to consent items.
Mr. Mayor, you have items 6A through 6D, and it's recommended that these be acted on simultaneously unless a separate discussion is requested by a member.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, public hearings.
Mr. Mayor, your first public hearing is to consider an amendment to the Garden Grove Municipal Code, and John Clark is here to give a staff report on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Fertal, Honorable Mayor, and members of the City Council. This is part of our continuing series of revisions to the Municipal Code, and tonight is Title VI, which is Health and Safety, and it's sort of a catch-all that covers food handling, weed abatement, hazardous materials, tobacco sales, stormwater, and so forth. This part of the code really didn't receive very many revisions. The only substantive change was a reference to domestic sewage exception under the stormwater discharge is the only major change, and that's due to changes in the Clean Water Act. So with the Mayor's indulgence, I will read the ordinance title and then answer any questions the council may have. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Garden Grove amending Title VI of the Garden Grove Municipal Code to remove obsolete references, to conform references to current city organization and practices, to make consistent with recent changes in state and federal laws, and to make other non-substantive changes.
Okay, any questions for staff? Okay, hearing none, I'll open a public hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Move the issue.
Second.
I have a motion second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
7B.
Mr. Mayor, 7B is a public hearing to consider protest hearing regarding the fall 2011 weed abatement notices. And Sabrina Soltis is here to give a staff report on this item.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, twice a year the Fire Department initiates the city's weed abatement program, to which there are 3 steps. The purpose of tonight's public hearing is the second step, for a public hearing to be held regarding the notices that were sent to property owners in September. It is recommended that council receive testimony from members of the public and take appropriate action, which would be to uphold any objections and direct staff to proceed, overrule the objections and direct staff to proceed with the weed abatement process as scheduled, and if there are no objections, to direct staff to proceed with the weed abatement process as scheduled.
Okay, any questions for staff?
Yeah, I have a question. Does Exhibit A reflect the protests? I don't understand what that is.
Exhibit A is the, those are the lots that still have weeds on them even after they've been noticed and after the month has gone by that we gave them to clear the lots on their own. So that reflects the lots that if you guys, council suggest that I proceed, those are the lots that we will turn over to the city contractor tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Now, there's, 4 lots
Yes.
listed? 3 of them are owned by Union Pacific, and 1's owned by residents of Fountain Valley?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions for staff? Okay, I'll open a public hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this? If you're seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a vote.
Move the issue.
Second.
Motion and second, call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Items for consideration.
Mr. Mayor, 9A is an award of contract to Harris and Associates for engineering services, and Bill Murray is here to give a staff report on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Fertel. Mr. Mayor and members of the council, tonight we're asking you to consider a contract for engineering services for a not-to-exceed price of $300,000. The purpose for obtaining this on-call contract is to assist staff with unforeseen projects or projects that occur during a rush period. We've been having those due to grant opportunities the last couple of years. Staff prepared a request for proposal and in September received 5 responses. Staff reviewed and rated the proposals and determined that Harris & Associates would provide the most qualified service to the city. The funding for this work is contained within the specific projects, so there will not be an impact to the general fund. It will just be charged for the projects. And should you decide to award the contract this evening, we can begin utilizing these services by the end of the year. This concludes staff's report.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Okay, if there are no questions, I'll enter approval. I have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Ordinances presented for second reading.
Mr. Mayor, your ordinance number 2802 is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Garden Grove amending Title 8 of the Garden Grove Municipal Code to remove obsolete references to conform references to current city organization and practices, to make consistent with recent changes in state and federal laws, and to make other non-substantive changes. No, it wasn't.
Okay. I have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, second. Call for the vote.
Motion received, 5 yes votes.
Okay, matters. Mr. Broadwater?
Well, I definitely want to say happy birthday to Chris Beard. What is that, 45, 50, or
56.
56 years old? Well, happy birthday. You look younger. I would have thought you were about 50, you know. So, anyway, I really don't have much else. I think the City of Garden Grove is doing fine, and I'm really happy with the staff and really happy with the council. It's one of the few times I've really felt that way in my life, so. Okay.
Okay, Ms. Swin.
Ditto. Anyway, I thought it was the Great Wolf trip that made you look younger.
I felt like a kid again.
I'd like to have seen him with the little wolf ears on.
I just want to remind everyone, the holidays coming up, Halloween next, and if you're going to take your kids out, be safe. Make sure you get your gears in place so that you can have a safe night, and don't drink and drive. Also, don't forget to celebrate and buy in Garden Grove. Pretty soon, I'm going to have buy in Garden Grove in every language that I can say. So I'm trying to come up with a couple more lines for that. And happy birthday, Councilman Beard.
Thank you.
Mr. Jones?
Just happy birthday to Chris. And a little Halloween trivia is I took my 5-year-old son on his field trip today to a planetarium where he learned some stuff about the solar system and all that kind of stuff. Kept asking him what planet we live on. He said, United States? So we got to keep working on that one a little bit. But they said that on Halloween night, as long as the sky is clear, if you look in one direction, you see the moon. And if you go about 180 degrees from that and you see a bright star, that's actually Jupiter. So, only happens once every 400,000 years.
But you mean this Halloween?
I made that part up, but they always say that. Astronomers always say. Every time there's an eclipse or anything, it only happens once every 4 million years. Wow. Then there's another one next year.
Yeah. Mr. Beard?
Okay, well, thank you for your birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. Makes it special. And I just a couple items. We went by in the agenda so fast, I didn't get a chance to talk about the pushcart derby. I was out the other end of that 10 years ago when we started it, talking to some of these council members, asking for permission to do that and the city's cooperation. And we did it then. The city did it then, and I was on that side. So it's such a pleasure to be on this side, having some history to it. And all the people, principal core group is still involved. Cub Scouting, Boy Scouting, best organization in the world. I'm biased with my 2 Eagle Scout sons and one in the making. So thank you. I'm glad I wanted to beat you to that motion to approve it, but it's such a worthwhile event. April 29th, I will be there. I know other council people will be there as well. So thanks for going ahead with that. It's such an enjoyable event. And went by quick. The city clerk's office, updating the code. Great job. Kudos to you. Long, arduous process, but it got done, and we're up to date. And all those sections. And one other thing. I think the Korean Festival happened in between council meetings. We were there. Most enjoyable event. I enjoy all the festivals, and I think that's the oldest one in the city, too. So
No.
one of these.
Strawberry Festival.
Oh, excuse me.
Other than the Strawberry Festival,
Thank you for that correction. But I had such a good time. I know we had a good time. So interesting. We met, as it worked out, the mayor of Anyang was there, and you'll probably talk about it. We had a reception, very interesting. It's quite an entourage of dignitaries from that city. They were well represented, and I'm sure they had a good time. I know I had a good time meeting them and learned some more about Anyang. And we had an opportunity to express our thanks for being a sister city. So that was quite worthwhile and enjoyable. So with that, again, thank you, and I will have a happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday to you. And again, it was mentioned a little bit, but unless you've gone down to a Public Works open house, you really can't appreciate what all of the people that work for the city do for you. You know, and we've talked before about turning the water on, turning the tap and the water coming out, or flushing the toilet and it works or it doesn't. These guys and gals, they make sure that this happens every day of the year. I mean, that is just their job, and believe me, they take pride in their job. If you'd have gone down there and looked at the equipment that they use, it was all shiny and painted and everything, and yeah, I mean, it's just, you look at these workers and you know that they take pride not only in their job, but in the equipment that they use and in the jobs they perform. And sometimes we kind of forget, maybe once a year we remember, as we're doing now. But, you know, next time you're walking, not driving, or you see one of the guys or gals out there doing a job, just say thanks. That's all you got to do once in a while, is just say thanks. Because that goes a long way, and they don't hear it enough. But they really do a great job, and it was a neat event again. That's about it. I already wished you a happy birthday, so you don't get two pieces of cake if I wish it twice. We're going to go ahead and adjourn the council meeting. The next regular meeting will be Tuesday, November 8th, 2011, 5:30 p.m. here. Thank you.